Have you ever felt like you were confused? And you're like, why can't I get clear? But on further analysis, you recognized, well, I'm not confused. I'm uncomfortable. And what did that discomfort really do for you in your business or in your life? So recently, I found myself there. And because I found myself there, I've realized that when we write the wrong diagnosis, we write the wrong prescription. And so we expend energy trying to solve a problem that isn't the real problem anyway. So in this video, I want to unpack that for you. That feeling of discomfort versus confusion. Which one is it? How do I differentiate? What do I need to do to handle discomfort as a high level achiever? So let's get into it. So by now, you know who I am. I'm Coach Jenelle Nikita Henry. And yes, you can very well put my Nikita in there because I love my middle name. It's my whole government name, like the whole thing. And I'm okay with you knowing what it is, right? I'm Coach Jenelle Nikita Henry. And what I do here, I help high level achievers, CEOs, leaders, entrepreneurs reclaim their time by doing what? Why do you need to reclaim time? You need to build a life and a business you love. Because you don't need to choose life or business, you can have both. But it's all about how you manage time. And to manage time effectively, you must learn to manage your focus and your energy. Now, I was telling you earlier about my dilemma recently. So, I'm a medical doctor. Yes, fun fact about me, I'm a medical doctor. Like, for real, not pretend. Went to medical school, did that whole thing. I've been practicing now for almost 10 years. And so I've been making this pivot into the business side of coaching. I've been coaching for years. I just didn't know it was that, right? Now, what I've observed is that this entrepreneurial space could be filled with a lot of uncertainty. And I think I've seen some people and they were really uncertain about how to navigate certain things. Now, feelings, right, they could really be confusing to sort through and to filter through. So the same way the feeling of confusion could appear is the same way the feeling of discomfort could be. And it could actually confuse you too. Yeah? So as I'm in this entrepreneurial space now, right, it's been filled with uncertainty, as I've said. And so recently I was embarking on a new endeavor. And while I was doing that thing, I said, oh my gosh, I'm confused. Like every couple of minutes, I kept saying I was confused. And I had to pause and ask myself, Jenelle, are you really confused? And can I tell you the truth? I wasn't. I was really clear on what I wanted. But when I saw the path, I was really uncomfortable taking that path. And I am asking you, as a high-level achiever, you've probably done so many great things, like a lot of great things in your life and in your business. But now you're at a point where you have to do something greater. And you keep second guessing yourself because, like me, it's easier to call it confusion. Do you know why? Because when you label it as confusion, what is the prescription? The prescription is to stop, to pause. But when you label it as discomfort, what is the prescription? The prescription is move forward as an act of bravery. Do you see the difference? So which one do you think would happen? Remember, we talk about the path of least resistance, right? I'm sure you've heard that before. Well, the path of least resistance sometimes is to label it as confusion so that you could pause and say, well, let me just catch my breath here. Let me just camp out here. Maybe I shouldn't try to go from 6 to 7 figures, because that pathway is going to have me abandoning several coaching programs, or that pathway would involve me hiring people, and wherever there's people, there's conflict, and I don't want to deal with conflict. And so all these crazy thoughts might be going through your head, right? So you want to take the path of least resistance. So once you label it as confusion, you get to stop. But when you label it as discomfort, you must push. And I am asking you, the God honest truth, is that what you have been doing that has been weighing you down and wasting your energy, and as a result, wasting your time? The wrong label. You're giving it the label you want to give it because you want the label that makes you feel good. So I want you to imagine, because I'm a very visual person, I want you to imagine putting a seed in the ground, sorry. And when you drop that seed in the ground, right, once you water it and sunlight and all those nice stuff, that seed is going to spring up. Now, I want you to just be visual with me here for a moment. That seed is in the ground and starts shooting. It starts shooting roots downward and it shoots up a little plant, right? And it's still on the ground because it hasn't shot up above the soil yet. But do you know that when that seed now has to shoot up above the soil, it's the tension of the soil that the seed has to shoot through, right? And I am saying to you, wherever you are in your life or in your business at this point, right? For you to break into a new revenue goal, for you to add another child, for you to get married if you are not, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Anything new is going to come with some form of resistance, and that resistance is going to create tension, and that tension is going to create discomfort. And if you are not ready to handle the discomfort that is going to come, you might prefer to stay hidden. You might prefer to stay at this revenue ceiling. You might prefer to not move your family cross country to do something new with your business. You might prefer to not learn a new language, right? So that you can have cross-cultural impact in your business. You might prefer to stay small. But as high-level achievers, right, what do? We don't plateau. We don't plateau, and we don't always take the path that's safe. Sometimes we take the path that nobody around us has ever taken before. We don't even know too much, but we know enough to take a step. And I am asking you, are you stuck? Because you are saying, I'm confused. Not at all. You are very clear. But you cannot handle the discomfort of shooting through the limitation. You don't know how to overcome the limitation. You don't know how to do it. And it's draining you. This is the truth. When you decide you're going to grow as a person and your business is going to grow, you are deciding to invite discomfort, and not just invite it, live in it. Like, let me tell you, I'm talking to you here, I'm communicating this, but I'm also speaking to me at the same time. I don't know if that has ever happened to you, where your words feel so potent in a moment that it's really resonating with you, and my words are resonating with me. So when you decide you're going to grow, when we as high-level achievers decide we're going to grow, we have given an open door to discomfort. And we are telling it, come and live here. And my question to you is, are you prepared to be uncomfortable and to keep being uncomfortable? Because you can waste time calling that thing confusion, and then your business doesn't achieve the growth, and your life doesn't achieve the growth that you can and the potential you can live up to, right? So I know you're thinking, well, I thought she was going to be a productivity coach. I ain't none of that. I'm not a productivity coach at all. I'm not here to go and tell you about all these Pomodoro technique, you could go and read that. I don't coach people on things they could go and read online. I'm here to give you wisdom and a perspective that you've never entertained for why you are where you are and how to help you get out of that place, right? Because we help people as coaches move from pain to pleasure island. So something that you could read in a textbook or online or ChatGPT could tell you, then there's no need for me. But there's a need for me when you understand she ain't telling me nothing I could read in a textbook or on the internet. Because that's what it's about, right? Nice. So what I'm saying to you is, if you put that wrong label, you are going to waste your time. You are going to waste your resources. And as high level achievers, we are resourceful people. And as high level achievers, we don't waste time on things we know won't work. And as high level achievers, we confront the hard and difficult things that we recognize in ourselves and in our businesses. So I don't want you to keep fighting discomfort. You have to invite it, because discomfort is proof of growth. Discomfort is proof that you are not in the boat anymore, you're walking on the water. And I'm using my biblical analogy. And yeah, I'm going to tell you, that's Bible, right? Because high-level achievers, the kind of high-level achievers I coach, we are not boat people. We don't do it like everybody else. We do it like we were meant to do it. We do it abnormally so that the abnormal path could now become a normal path for others after us. So you have to be able to manage discomfort to blaze trails. And as I'm here, I want to stick a pin right here. I've recently launched a school community. And it's literally an exclusive and free community. And it's much more than what I do here on YouTube, because it's to form a camaraderie, right, between your colleagues, people who are like-minded. Do you know what happens when like-minded people get in a room? Do you know what happens? It's like seriously just mind-boggling what takes place. Because when you find your tribe, and it's called Unstoppable Tribe, when you find your tribe, people who you could bounce ideas off of, right? When you find that, something really starts shifting for you. You stop having the impossible mindset. Okay, let me ask you this before we move forward in the video. Have you ever told your idea, your business idea to somebody, and you were so excited? And you thought that person would get it. And when you told them, immediately, you felt deflated. And you literally, you left the conversation and you're thinking, is there something wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. You just spoke to somebody who stays in the boat. When you are a water walker, and all a water walker is an analogy for a person who does things abnormally. Because the abnormal thing becomes normal when people realize you can take that risk to accomplish that thing. And that's the kind of people I want to be around. The people who don't think my ideas are too big or too outlandish. And if that's you, click that link and join the Unstoppable Tribe. It literally costs you nothing to do it. You can continue to stay around people who don't get it and lament why you're so abnormal when there are a group of people who are just as abnormal as you, that they are willing to push the envelope and do things so abnormally that that abnormal thing becomes the new normal. So click that link below. Let's return. So high level achievers can really waste time fighting the discomfort that comes with growth. So I want you to realize that you just have to accept discomfort. Like, you just have to accept it. It's not one of those things, and one of my coaches always says this. He says it's not a problem to solve, but a tension to be managed. The first time I heard him say that was it for me. Because I recognized because by nature I'm a problem solver, right? I'm telling you all my business. Well, not all, but enough for you to understand who I am, right? And so I like to solve problems. And if you ever heard me in real life, I don't solve problems to come back and solve it. I solve things permanently. As much as lieth within me and as much as the wisdom of God, right, that I have, I will do my utmost to solve a problem permanently because I don't like revisiting the same problem. I think it's a waste of time, energy, and resources. All right? Nice. So what I'm saying is when he said that, it's not a problem to be solved, but attention to be managed, my whole life shifted. One sentence. And I'm sharing that with you. And my coach is Coach Dr. Darius Daniels, right? He said that in one of our groups. And I'm telling you, you have to get to that point. Now, am I really going to tell you that and not tell you how to get to that point? That would be absurd, right? So let's talk about it. You know, I love frameworks here, and it's called the PEACE, P-E-A-C-E, right? Framework. So each letter means something. So the P is pause and perceive. So pause. As high-level achievers, I could tell you one of our cardinal problems because I also struggle with it. But there are lovely people in my life that help keep me in balance. We don't like to pause. We hate to pause. Like, we just like to keep going. Once we get in that mode, it's like, listen, like, think of Usain Bolt. When that gun blasts off for the Olympics, he just start gunning for that finish line. And that's how we are with our work, right? So, but what I'm saying is you do have to pause. You have to pause and perceive. And it means you need to really be able to call out confusion versus discomfort. You have to. So you ask yourself, what do I want? Do I know how to get there? Do I have enough information to make an informed choice? And is it the accurate information? And when you answer those questions, you're going to realize, I'm just uncomfortable. That's it. I'm not confused. I'm just uncomfortable, right? You label the emotion because if you put the wrong label, we're going to write the wrong prescription. E, embrace the expansion. You can't expect to change that revenue and add an extra zero at your revenue or do cross-cultural business or hire new people on staff and think it's just going to be sunshine on a cloudy day. You think it's going to be like that? It's not, right? So discomfort, as I said, is just growth. It's evidence of growth. So take the evidence. When you start seeing friction in your marriage, as you're trying to scale that business, something is looming there. Something is looming there, right? Growth is coming, so friction is showing up. Growth is coming, so what is showing up? Friction. So that means when you embark, you start looking, you start expecting the friction to take place. And you have to learn how to become more agile at handling the friction that is going to be inevitable, right? A, align with calm. You have to be nice to your nervous system. And trust me, I've been learning to be real nice to my nervous system. So how do we do that? How do we calm our nervous system? Well, mindfulness is one of them. And so mindfulness means that you pay attention to yourself and you bring yourself into the present moment. So you can close your eyes, right? Put your feet flat on the floor. Put your hands on your laps with your palms facing upward or down, however you want to. And you start taking some deep breaths in and out. And you pay attention firstly to your breath, right? And when you feel like you're paying attention to your breath, and now notice if you've never done this before, your mind is 100% going to wander. But you permit your mind to wander because you're going to expend energy, right? Trying to curb the thoughts, and then you're not going to end up mindful. It's not a one-trick pony. You're actually going to have to do it several times, but you can really research it, mindfulness, and you take some breaths and you bring your attention to the breath. You bring your attention to the sensation in your body. You even bring your attention to those thoughts flying through your mind. Because what it does is it calms you down. Again, exercise is really excellent because you get to burn off all that steam that is trapped within your body and it needs an outlet, all that discomfort, right? Prayer. I'm a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ, so I am absolutely going to tell you prayer is one of the things I practice because we are anxious for nothing but in everything by prayer and supplication. We make our requests known unto God. right? So it means that we talk to God, we talk out the anxiety out of our systems, right? So those are the three things that I can recommend, and doing some breath work. So what I like to do is called the box breathing technique. So I hold my breath, I count to 5, and then I release it. So you take a big inhale and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now pay attention to how I'm counting. I'm not counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not counting like that. That counting is literally anxious, right? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you exhale till you feel like your lungs are absolutely empty. I won't talk about the medical term for that, right? But there is some medicine behind that. And that helps to calm you down. Discomfort is uncomfortable. Duh. But discomfort could really come with some anxiety at times. And so you need to bring yourself back into the present moment. And C, clarify and commit. You've got to commit. If this is the path that you have to walk as a high-level achiever, you've got to be committed to it. And when you know you're really sure that this is where your life and business should go, and this is the path that's going to take you there, double down. But I don't want you to double down with anxiety. You can feel uncomfortable, discomfort, right? But as I said, sometimes discomfort comes with anxiety, and so it's one of those things you have to become more dexterous at handling. So how do I handle the pressure? How do I handle the stress without losing my mind? How do I do that? How do I scale this company without losing my mind? And it happens. But you clarify and you commit. You've got to commit. If you're still wavering in your decision to walk on that path, I'm telling you, you're not going to get to the destination. You've got to double down. Double down. Double down on it. I know you're seeing all sorts of things coming from all sides, but you've got to double down. And the last one, extend grace. Why are we as high-level achievers so tough on ourselves? Why are we? And I say we because I'm tough on myself as well. But I have to extend grace, because if you know how to operate your business at 6 figures and now you're going for 7, you do know that change in that 0 comes with a whole lot of problems that you've never solved before, but bigger rewards for you to have. But in the midst of it all, if you can't extend grace to yourself, you're really not going to achieve much, would you? So you need that little grace. Self-compassion sustains momentum. Self-compassion sustains momentum. So instead of seeing all the things you didn't get done on your schedule today, and you're anxious, and why does my to-do-list app look like this, and why does my Apple Calendar, my Google Calendar look like this, and why didn't I attend this Microsoft Teams meeting, and I didn't get that new hire done this week, and just so you're going. And it's like a hamster on a wheel. You're just running, and going nowhere. Can you just pause and extend a little grace to yourself and say to yourself, you did a really good job today. You did a really good job today. And you just start telling yourself all the things you did right. Because you need peace. To pause and perceive, embrace the expansion, align with calm, clarify and commit, and extend grace to yourself. When tension arises, pause, embrace, align, clarify, and extend grace. Discomfort really isn't your enemy. Resistance is. There's enough tension happening for you to shoot past that limitation. Why add to that? You don't have to. The moment you stop resisting that you have everything it takes inside of you to walk this path and to take that business to another level, you can conserve energy for what truly matters. Because sometimes you're expending energy in the business and it's costing you your actual life with your family and your loved ones. And it wasn't meant to be so. So if you've been like me, mislabeling discomfort as confusion. Let's break the cycle. As high-level people, let's not be known as type A, anxiety-inducing personalities. We don't have to be that. Who told us that? Somebody told us that and we all took it up as our personalities. Nah, we could achieve great things, impossible things, and not expending energy on wasteful things so that we can reclaim our time to build lives and businesses we love. So I hope I helped you in this video. I always say this: if something really helped you, please come back, watch the video again. You're not watching it to give likes or views or whatever is these things on YouTube. No, you're watching it because this content resonated with something deep within you, as it should. Because you're much more than this. And one of my goals is to really help people like me just do this thing better. We already have the capability, but sometimes we just need a little help to go along. So take good care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your nervous system. And remember, you actually can move from stuck to unstoppable and profit with peace. Until next time.